Alright, well, we do a lot of stuff, just checking things out, getting things looking right. And I'm no official restorer of boats or cars, but I went and bought this boat about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Um, yeah, she's 90 plus, 95 inches across the top. Big, big, big. I wanted one of these since they came out, and this guy had this thing. He was up in Missouri. He put, I guess this one had a tiller engine, and you sat. I would think that these things come up to about here. Let's see, like this line right here. Yeah. Up to about probably the seat post and then across. And feller did a pretty decent job making it a center console, which I think all of them are center consoles now. I'll get a better photo. But the seats were sloppy. He put on, I'm gonna get a little close here. He put on this paint he got at Home Depot, and he poured sand in it to make it anti-slip, and it's just horrible. So we can't put this big boat inside. It doesn't fit. So I went through the console first because I had to make the boat run, and so we did. We switched. This thing came. He had a 115 Johnson on it, big heavy motor, and I thought this boat was rated for a 150 because the new ones are. And so he conned me a little bit. It's rated for a 90 horse. Yeah, I'm gullible sometimes, especially when I want something. So we blew that engine up real quick. It wasn't very good to begin with. Sorry, the garbage truck. Okay, well, I'm super glad I put the trash out. It's a holiday. I didn't expect them to run. Alright, anyway, the 115 went to the garbage. I traded a boomstick and some cash for another boat. I had a 14-foot fiberglass bass boat, some kind of tri-hull I didn't like, but that thing had that real pretty 48 special on it, and except for no trim and tilt, that 48 special is the bomb. That thing is a low hour engine. It's old. It's still got, everything is old, but we went through it, and we'll keep going through it till we get it right. So that brings us up to the console. So I had all the old 115 gauges here, and none of them run. So then the throttle for the 115 was equally wore out, and last year was out hunting and couldn't shift it no more. It wouldn't go. So I finally found a lower, hours use throttle and throttle housing, and got all that. Took the best parts out of both. So we added the boom box, and then it was seats. I wanted camouflage seats, and I am busting my butt to try to keep these seats from fading. So we put in a pair there and another pair here in front, and my wife likes this because we have 4 people, Christopher and Sawyer and Angie and I. There you go. It's your little view. But I had to do this. The other guy had this box built here and one seat on it, and I put a 2x6 across it and mounted 2 seats. Anyway, I gotta get I'm gonna keep using the cover to do the dash, but I need to get a tote bin big enough to cover these 2 seats, and that'll help me keep my seats from fading. Because here's what's going on. It's already not as dark because the cover covers here and then a little bit here, but doesn't cover this piece. So I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the camera does that right, but this is not as dark as this anymore. So I gotta get after that, or I'm gonna lose my seats, and they are so expensive. I have the leaning post seat there, and like a half seat for the post in the back, and they're too small. I got a big butt. Sorry. And I don't like the tackle box. It's bolted down, and you have to have something to put your possibles in up here. So anyways, what we're working on now, just about to wrap this up. I have brand new batteries. I took them out because we had a tornado here, and I needed the battery back up at the house. So that's just gonna come back and get put back in. So we're sanding the rails. Let me spin you around again. And we painted the back already, and so it's going to go all the way down there. It's going to stay black, all that top rail, and then I'm going to paint the inside facing the top, and then it slopes down. See if you can see my hand. It slopes down on the front, and we're going to paint that black, and then all the way around. And that's going to be my rails. That is, and I did a horrible job doing this console, but it looks fine. In fact, the little chips and things that you see here on the corners, if we call it patina, I don't know if that's the right word. It's kind of blending in the runs and streaks and whatever. Because I don't want a perfect boat. I want a good looking boat. I don't want to, when I go out, I want a pat on the back. Man, that's a sharp boat. That looks nice. And that's what I want. So we bought the SeaDek. It's going to be dark tan with black striping in between. So it's like a 2-inch slat. It's supposed to look like teak wood. But they sent me the 35 and didn't send me the 47 that I paid for. And guys, this is a 90-inch deck. And this boat's got some real estate. That back there is especially 90. So we're gonna do the SeaDek, and I'll get some pictures. Maybe I'll do a backup video on that. But I wanted to get some good footage of the boat. Maybe in the comments, tell me what about this wood floor. Not taking it out. I do not want to. I do not want to have aluminum. I'm not a welder of any sort. This wood is old and super light. It is not heavy. If I go like these floorboards here in the middle, they are those plastic composite boards, and those suckers weigh a ton. But it was a good idea on the other guy's part, because you got that console mounted to it, and that needs that extra strength. But these 5 on each side, and then right here at my toes, are wood, and they have lightened up. They're deck boards. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to rent or borrow a nice 3,000 psi power washer and see if we can strip all that green paint. And I mean, if I got to take them out to stain them and put them back, I'm going to be ticked off, but I think that staining them is better than painting them. I think that if I take them out, stain them and water seal them, and put them in, they're going to look super. So, oh yeah, and then the other thing we're gonna do, um, these inner walls here. Let's see if you can see my hand touching. They are also with that sand paint, and so I think we're gonna go maybe a tan, like a desert sand, maybe gray, because I have so much black already, and the black pinstriping. But I don't want it hot. This rail up here is gonna be hot enough. But then we'll be able to stand on the decks because they're not going to be hot with that sea deck. Sorry. I definitely don't want to go back to no army green or camouflage. You know, if I ever decide to sell this boat, and some like duck hunter buys it or whatever, it's a gallon of paint. It's going to be done right, so he could just paint over it. So we'll see. Now the seat here in the front, let's talk about that. I want to take it out. I have a nice big, like a Yeti. It's not a Yeti, it's off-brand. It's Magellan from one of those box sporting goods stores. I want to put it there, but then the two seats don't work. And what I end up saying is, up here on the deck and on the back deck, you got the post and the half seats. I don't like the half seats either. My posts are not tall enough. Granted, I could buy a taller post so I can stand in the front and fish. But I think I'd rather take these two seats, put them on the short posts, and sit for fishing. And then just put the cooler there and let the kids sit on the cooler. Just put down there in the floor on each side, put a clamp, and then eliminate the box. Just get that thing out of here. I gotta save me from having to paint it. So we went to the 3 side mounted rod holders on each side and took out, they had a monstrous looking box built here. I mean, it was so heavy the boat listed. No, it's just kidding, but it was heavy, and I got my arm slammed in it, and it didn't feel nice, and I hated that box. It was dry rot, it was pine plywood, so it was all rotted anyway. And so now I'm a little short on rod holders, and then my wife likes to put an umbrella in when we're swimming. So I've cut PVC pipes, and I'm gonna paint them. But right there on the console, I think I'm gonna put a board across that front, which will hide all that crappy paint. You can see where I painted it, and then like 2 days later I put the seat up and the seat stuck to it. Or maybe it was the cover, the canvas cover stuck to it. That's what it was. So if I put that board on there and then put them PVCs, I'm gonna paint it all and stick it on there. That'll hide those runs, and that'll, that's gonna be great. I don't have to repaint that console that way. So she's coming along, and it's gonna be just weeks now, not months anymore. It took me a couple of years to get all this money saved up and build this thing out the way I want it. Oh, there's also, I think on the outside of the boat, underneath this gunnel, is that what they call these? Gun rail? The rail. I'm going to be putting the strips of green LEDs down the sides. So when we go out at night, we can turn on the LEDs and eliminate the water. And so that's going to be pretty neat too. I have so many things I'm going to do. But yeah, so the boat's coming along. And we're definitely going to be doing some fishing. Like I said, I just got some old Walmart batteries, but whatever. So the 2 batteries that go down in that hole there, they're brand new. Well, I bought them in December, and I've only ran the trolling motor for about 15 minutes since then. But I know batteries don't stay new. They sit and be old just for sitting. So I'm not trying to say they're brand new, but again, they're only 5 months. So that's not bad. I'm going to take these light poles out. And if I don't hard mount those lights, I just won't have them. Somebody stole off the front. I had a nice Alpina 22-inch light LED bar, and somebody decided I didn't need that. It took them a while. They did it right here sitting in this yard, and it took them a while to get that off of there. They didn't just yank it off. It had to be unscrewed. They were Allen screws, so they had to go get something to do it. At least a pair of pliers. Oh man, nobody likes a thief. Anyways, I figure these deck hatches. I haven't decided. I believe we're gonna do C-deck on top of the hatches, but it's gonna take me another day on the stripper. What I found works is airplane stripper and then a wire brush. And you put the airplane stripper on, let it dry, let it soak for about 5 minutes, and then you come in there with a wire brush and it'll go right down in these cracks and clean all that crap out. That's how the front got done. And so we're gonna clean all those cracks out around these. It's gonna take me another $25 can of stripper. And then I guess whatever color I do there, I'll have to paint a little bit here around. Let's see if I can do that again. Paint a little bit here around the outside, so that when the C-deck comes up to it, and there's a space, it'll be painted. Because I sure don't want no paint on my C-deck. This is where I've been stripping paint. What a job. I've been stripping this paint now for over a year. But it's nice. It's coming along. So guys, there's the boat. And it won't be long, but wish me luck. Got any suggestions, please comment. Let me know what to do. Again, money is always an issue. We're doing this for hundreds, not thousands. Like this is the bedliner paint. And it works great. I've used it on the racks on my four-wheeler. I'm going to get down. Hold on. Sorry. I used it on the racks and rims on the four-wheeler here. And it's been a year now, and that's holding up just fine. There's no rust. They're dirty. I ain't trying to keep my four-wheeler like a, I ride it. I don't, but you can see here's what the racks look like before, and so they're good. And the rims, let's see, I wiped the rim here, showing somebody else, but that truck bed liner stuff is pretty good. I like it. So front rack, now four-wheeler, we're working on, I'm souping up my winch right now. I put a synthetic line on, and I painted my shackles. I got the last 5 feet of rope painted red, so I know to stop, because that synthetic line I bought the 1/4 inch and needed 3/16, so it's not secured. It's once you've wrapped it a few times, you put one layer crossways, and then you wrap about 3 circles, three revolutions, and it'll pinch down, and then you don't have it slipping. So I got 3, maybe 5, 6 wraps, and then I painted. So if I do get to the end of the red paint, I still have 5 or 6 wraps on the cylinder. So I had to cut 10, 12 feet off that winch line because it's 1/4 inch. It's too big. You know what I mean? So only like $13 for a winch line. So I'll run it, play with it, and another week or month or 2 months, whatever, I'll buy another winch line and put the new one on, give it a good stretch. And then I saw one of these little Chinese dudes with a winch on it. And there's, you know what? There's plenty of room there. Let's see. Plenty of room right in there for a winch. So I'm pretty sure my boy's going to get him a winch now. But there's so many other things I need to spend $60-$70 on. So we'll see. Let's see. We don't sport ride very much. You know, Christopher likes to sport ride this machine. He'd sport ride that one, but I won't let him. So everything's going to get bigger storage boxes. Sawyer saw this. He's been wanting a storage box so bad. When I bought this little dude, they're on Amazon for $20. It's a triple ammo can. $20. You kidding me? I moved the dividers. I took one out. Got me. These guys are gone up. I bought this for $10, and it looks pretty good. They're 13 now. But painted all my recovery gear, so if I drop it, I can hopefully find it, or hopefully see it before I drive away. I got the flat tire kit now, and the bug kit, and the first aid kit, and that's all that'll fit in this thing. So I'm sure there's some other junk down in the bottom of it, but so that's what we've been doing, four-wheelers. And this dude, it's still, I could use some advice on this too. Everything is running right. But when you're out and it hits 85, 90 degrees outside, this gas tank gets too hot and you start not just venting, but it's pushing raw gas up this hose. You can see where I let it out so I could watch it last time I rode, and it was dripping here on the plastics. And after it got even warmer, you know, it got about as hot as it was going to get. The carburetor started having some gas come out the vent hole. So our gas tank's getting too hot, and I don't have a real clear understanding of everything yet. This guy that owned it before me, he put an aftermarket, he put a new radiator in it, put the oil cooler back on where it was, and then he put a overflow bag and cut this hole here. So that's all new. I could put a radiator cap on under here that would tell me the temperature, but guys, how would I ever see it? I'd have to ride without this cover. It's I don't think that's the problem. I did my little temperature gauge out here, my infrared. There it sits right there by the BBs. Anyway, the radiator with this thing warm enough to start venting through the blue hose, sitting out in the sun idling here. The engine was running about 170. The fan, it never got hot enough for the fan to come on. But I have a switch right here. I put a manual. So this way, this direction is on the thermostat. There's no off. On the thermostat or continuously running. So there's no off, so you can't mess it up. So I'm either on the thermostat, which is the way I ride, and if I start having the tank too hot, I tried running the fan for an hour, and then I tried without, just letting the because it cycles on and off fine when you're riding. Thinking, you know, maybe I'm blowing extra heat on the gas tank, and I shouldn't. But that's not the problem either. So the gas tank's here. If we come down, you see, let me get right here. This is the exhaust. I wrapped it to try to keep things cooler. But you could put the radar on the laser beam on that, and that's 450 when the engine's running. And I mean, it cools off within seconds. That's the hottest part. Back at the back there with the muffler, I scan that. It's under 200. And you shut it off. It's cooled within a minute or two. It's not something that stays hot even. So that 400 degree pipe is what's heating up my gas tank. And it's got the factory there's a rubber heat shield in there, the soft rubber. It's like an inner tube cut into pieces. And that's there. Other than that, I could probably do the aluminum mat, have it deflect heat. I may have to. I don't know, because I like riding. I don't like to go home because it got warm. All the Honda forums say that the radiator is plugged. Then I should take the oil cooler. Let's see if I can get a shot of it. Here's the oil cooler. That I should take the oil cooler off, and I'll probably find a bunch of dirt between there. You know what though? Listen, when that tank is that hot, this thing is only about 140. And what I read is the thermostat doesn't open until 195. So I turn that fan on. This thing drops 10 degrees just running the fan. Done. Doesn't even use the overflow bag. It's just not even getting hot. So with that being said, if the thermostat's 195, then the radiator running 170, 150 with the fan going, we're probably not seeing very much water flow at all by design, So I don't get it. I also when I first got it, the back brakes didn't work at all, and I got that figured out, and then I thought that I had a broken part in the rear caliper, and I got on the blogs and I found out that I should be a little more aggressive with my cable adjustments, and now I have parking brake, so I'm super stoked about that. That actually brought my confidence level up to go up and down these mountain trails a little bit more, having extra brakes. This thing does not do engine braking very well, so this transmission runs. This doesn't shift like a four-wheeler. It shifts like a truck. It's got a I can never remember the name of it. It pumps hydraulic. So when you're ready to shift, your RPMs get up high enough, it builds enough pressure in the transmission to shift to the next gear. Obviously, I have the buttons to change, just like all the other Honda four-wheelers. Put it in this mode like that, and then I can shift, but I only have 3 forward gears and no low. So what we're talking about is when you're going downhill and you can feel the engine braking stop, you take your thumb and you just flick the gas like that, and that's enough to get it back in, and it'll engine brake, but it only does it about here to that little red truck, not very far, and then you're rolling again, because it kind of gets in neutral and drops back out. Pressure drops. So engine braking on this thing is horrible. So having that extra brake up there, you can now, when you're going down a steep hill, you can practically stand on the foot peg, and then you got a hand on each brake. Yeah, it's just much better. But maybe I'm wrong about the engine braking. Maybe it should be engine braking, but you're talking about a 2003, and we're 24, so this thing is 22 years old, 21 years old, whatever, and it is still pretty incredible machine. Go Honda. So that's it. We're gonna leave it the way it is, ride it, and yeah, lots of fun. Okay, so there's the boat and the four-wheelers. You got anything to tell me, any ideas? Put it in the comments. You know, give me a call if you know me. If you don't, you want to get to know me, start talking. I'll talk to you later. Hey, don't let nobody sneak up behind you. It's bad juju.